Hey, this is Chaz Pippitt from Baseball Rebellion, and I am going to be breaking down Bo Bichette, a shortstop from Florida, who hopefully will go in the first 40 picks or so of the Major League Baseball draft this year. Bo has worked directly with Baseball Rebellion for 4 or 5 days when he came up with his older brother Dante Jr., and we got a lot of solid work done in person, and I would say Bo was already in a really, really good spot when he got here. He was the most advanced high school hitter I'd ever seen in my career, and I've been doing this for 9 years. So I loved a lot of the mechanical things that Bo did. We talked a lot about adjustability with Bo. He already had great power at the time. He was the hardest hitting high school student we'd ever seen with wood, all front toss with a ball exit speed of 105.4. He had a phenomenal year this year, hitting 13 or 14 home runs, I believe, and just really being a dominant player in Florida. He was Gatorade Player of the Year in Florida, and he has, really over the last couple of years rocketed up some draft boards. So I'm very excited for Bo. Obviously, I know his brother extremely well. I know Bo, and this is a big day for him, and I hope that it works out great for him. But I wanted to break down his mechanical pattern for you guys and really explain some of the things that Bo does so well that make him such a quality high school hitter and such a high-level power prospect. So these are some game swings that Bo sent me last night. And what you're going to see is he starts with a really high hands above his head almost. And you're going to see a really pronounced leg kick where he really shows the back pocket to the pitcher and moves forward. He does a great job of setting his back leg angle and really allowing his body to move forward. We used to talk a lot about the greater than sign for pitching. We talk about it for hitting as well. So he really moves forward beautifully. And if I back it up, here's his front leg, and you can see how he's really gaining some ground here. So this is the back leg angle drill position that we talk about all the time. Hips are open. His front foot is open. He's heel to heel with his stride. And one of the main things we worked on with Bo when he was here in person was the direction of his stride and landing with a much more bent front leg so that he could be a little bit more adjustable. When Bo does come through here, you can see his back foot moves beautifully forward. We talked a little bit about Gavin Lux. Casey did about how his back foot was a little bit late. Bo's is much more on time. And that would probably make sense because of all the power he has. It makes sense that he's a little bit more on time there. You can see the violent straightening of the front leg, obviously through the heel, extremely strong here. And a lot of people talk about getting into their legs on the internet and on Twitter, and they'd see this bent front leg, and they're like, oh, yeah, he's in his legs. Well, was he really in his legs? Because he looks like he stayed really tall. He got his shoulders to work down like they're supposed to. I call this the smiley face. Okay, shoulder action. Okay, so it kind of starts down. Back shoulder starts down and then works upward to finish the smiley face. He was a little out in front of this ball, but obviously he hit it a long way if you're looking at how he ended up standing up out of the box and just dropping the bat and going. This is a really cool view. So Bo's obviously hitting again, and he's showing his back to the camera. What I want you guys to focus on right here are these belt loops. You can see how the belt loops will start to turn, and then nothing up top is really turned. So he's showing a lot of his back to the pitcher, which isn't my favorite thing that Bo does. I think he'd be better off if he landed more like this and stayed there. He could be closing off his head just a little bit, but it does look like his shoulders work under his neck really well, which is something I talk a lot about with my older guys, trying to make sure they understand that if their back shoulder works down like it's supposed to, it won't work up and through their face. It'll work under their neck the whole time. He went oppo juice with this ball. But you can see the back foot does move. He's got this really deep early barrel movement and acceleration, which obviously I really like. That's kind of that path. And you can see, this is where he's really accelerating back behind the ball and into the zone, and that's what really separates Bo from a lot of the other high school hitters in his class, especially high school non-first baseman. It's just his crazy power. I saw somebody rank him it's only having 45 power. If this is what 45 power looks like, yeah, I guess I just don't know much about scouting, because this guy hits the ball as hard as anybody his size and probably 25, 30 pounds bigger. I mean, he has crazy power. Again, a great back leg angle position. Really tall posture. He's not leaning over the waist very much at all. Great straightening of the front side through the front heel. I mean, he's just ultra efficient with his mechanics, and great upward extension through the ball. That's something that I think is really underrated. Bo does a great job of keeping his back elbow under his wrist, whereas a lot of guys, they get to this position here, and then the very next thing that will happen is their elbow would shoot upward and their wrist would stay low. Okay, so then their elbow would look like that, the elbow being higher than the wrist, and that actually really cuts off the extension opportunity of the ball. And I don't think extension is something you should strive to do, but it's something you should be able to do. And you can see how he completely finishes his turn. And this is a really good example of that smiley face shoulder action I was talking about. So there's the smiley face, and if I had a swing like that, I'd be smiling too. You know what I mean? So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at some candid video from when Bo is actually in the facility. So this is Baseball Rebellion's facility here. And so what he's doing on this pitch, he's actually hitting a changeup, and he sat into his front leg, and then this is that upward extension he's so good at. So Bo's upper body is just in perfect position. You can see the straightening of the front leg here. Okay, and that was something where at first he was really striding in quite a bit. He was cutting himself off quite a bit, and he was really rolling his front leg out quite a lot. Now you're going to see his front heel move a little bit here. So he's learning in this, but I don't mind showing video of the guys that as they're learning, because I think that's really important to see how he continued to get better through his high school season with more time. And Bo's the kind of guy where confidence is something that he obviously has in spades. And he should, because he's extremely powerful and extremely successful at the level he's played at. Here's one where he gets a little bit stepping in with his front side. That pitch was super low, but he still smashed it. And then I think he gets a fastball here one more time, and that was more on line with his stride, and he just came up through it beautifully. So Bo improved tremendously while he was here, but again, he was already really, really good and already really, really confident. And confidence is paramount in a hitter. And if you trust your process and you trust the work that you've put in, good things tend to happen for you. And Bo's the kind of guy that has really done some excellent things over time with his stride, with his leg kick, and with his power potential. I think he's the best high school hitter in the draft that I've seen, and he's the best high school hitter that I have ever seen. And I haven't seen everyone, I know that, but I think Bo Bichette is right there, and hopefully he gets his name called really early. Good luck, Bo. Thanks a lot.